Thanks for joining us. This is Nationwide. I'm Ruth, Aguele. Let's start by telling you that President Muhammadu Buhari this Monday unveiled the e-Naira, Africa's first central bank digital currency. The digital currency will play a complementary role to the paper notes, and President Buhari is optimistic that concerns like hyperinflation and strain on the nation's foreign reserves would be controlled.
Digital currencies can help move away more people and businesses from the informal into the formal sector, thereby creating the tax base of the country.
The CBN has given careful consideration to the entire payment and financial architecture and has designed the e-Naira to complement and strengthen these ecosystems and have implemented secure safeguards and policies to maintain the integrity of the financial system.
Benefits of the e-Naira have been identified to include low transaction fees, zero charges on wallet-to-wallet transfers, reliable transaction processing and instant settlement, as well as reduced operating cost for merchants that come in form of cash handling and payroll management. And on analysis on that, let's bring you an excerpt now from NTA's business experts. Musa had a discussion with a guest, Toyin Alassi, on the unveiled central bank digital currency. Let's see how that went.
Action today will center on ongoing conversations at the 27th Nigerian Economic Summit, which revolves around arriving at strategies for economic recovery and sustainable growth, in addition to financial inclusion, as the president just moments ago launched Nigeria's digital currency, the e-Naira. To do justice to that, it's Toyin Alassi. Joining me is Toyin Alassi, a former banker and now a CEO of MoneyWise Investments. You're welcome to Business Express.
Thank you very much for having me.
Okay, it has been long awaited, and the president has now, the e-Naira has become operational.
Yes, sir.
So what does this mean for the country's payment system?
Well, what this means for me, from my perspective, is that the country's payment system again has, set forth a standard in Africa again, because Nigeria, as you know, is the first country in Africa to launch its digital currency, which is a very major feat, particularly for the fact that not a lot of countries in the world have launched their digital currency. So it's a major feat, and what this means for the payment system is that it strengthens it more, and it also builds confidence in Nigeria's payment system.
Okay, what other advantage do we hope to see in this?
With the e-Naira, there's a lot of advantages. Okay. First of all, the cash management costs for the country is reduced, because now you don't have to consistently produce cash or destroy cash, which is usually a lot of cost. As a matter of fact, in the last 5 years, Nigeria spent over 307 billion on cash production and processing. So this just means that that particular cost is eliminated to a major limit. Also, the e-Naira is cheaper. When you're looking at the individuals, for example, it's cheaper for us to transact, it's faster. So I remember when I was at the bank, there used to be cases where banks didn't have cash to meet customers' needs. All of those things are now eliminated. So there's nothing like there's no cash available. I can easily move my money from cash to the e-Naira wallet, and I can still do transactions without hitches.
Now another thing is awareness. Those sellers, the issue of awareness, you get it, where they will now understand, okay, you don't need physical cash, because Nigeria has this idea of, we have this, we must use cash, you have to get cash and things like that. So what do we do about awareness?
The CBN, and along with other stakeholders, which includes the banks, the merchants, will have to put a lot of resources and time into education to create awareness, because when I was looking at the launch and what the comments online, I saw that a lot of people still don't understand how to download an app, set up your account, and all those basic things. So a lot of focus will have to go into education, which the CBN, I see they're trying to do a lot. But banks, I also see a lot of banks have the details on their platforms. A lot of people have enrolled. Interestingly, the huge visit to the platform, to the website, is quite encouraging. So over time, with a consistent education and information being released concerning the operations, I'm sure a lot of people will catch up, particularly when it's cheaper. People want cheaper options all the time.
Do you see that leading to inclusion, financial inclusion?
Yeah, eventually. When the e-Naira eventually evolves to the USSD method, I see it reaching to other, to the banks. Majorly, because right now with an app that requires an internet, it's still limited to the banks and maybe people who have access to internet. So if we're going to achieve a lot of financial inclusion, it will have to deal with the challenges of the limitations of internet and also illiteracy. So the USSD option, which is available for transfers basically with the normal Naira, will be a major step in the right direction, and it's been mentioned that the e-Naira will evolve to that.
Okay, the slogan is Same Naira, More Possibilities. What in your own view would you like to see?
All right, there, Musa, having a discussion on the e-Naira on NTA's Business Express. President Muhammadu Buhari has formally declared open the 27th Nigerian Economic Summit in Abuja. Represented by the Vice President, Professor Yemi Oshibajo, the President said the Economic Sustainability Plan is yielding results and the federal government plans a broad-based and inclusive economic plan for sustainable growth and development. Benny Adams reports that the plan is consistent with government's aim to lift 100 million citizens out of poverty in 10 years.
This 27th edition of the Nigerian Economic Summit, which is an assemblage of national as well as global leaders in economics and politics. It is all about rebuilding economies from the effects of COVID-19. Countries globally have their eyes fixed on the speed and also the process of recovery, and Nigeria is not left out of it.
The federal government is responding to the challenges and opportunities of the moment by articulating forward-looking policies and strategies and implementing the coherent, clear, and consistent set of actions in order to achieve our desired objectives.
Ethiopia has given the highest priority to promoting inclusive agricultural transformation by means of allocating at least 17% of its annual budget to invest in irrigation, extension services, by deploying around 60,000 extension agents and agricultural research for improved and climate resilient crop varieties. In addition, credit facilities, subsidization of inputs such as fertilizers and improved seeds were readily available.
Let us again envisage a future with economic growth led by a thriving, innovative private sector, resulting in a diversified economy with the non-oil taxes as a major source of income, and the non-oil sector driving export expansion and accelerating the accretion to our foreign reserves.
And we have the theme of this as securing our future, the fierce urgency of now. We have like 29 sub-teams where national and global economic leaders will be brainstorming with the hope that at the end of the day a policy statement will be made where government can adopt and move on from where we are today.
In Abuja, Benny Adams, NTA News.
In the build-up to the 2023 general elections, President Muhammadu Buhari is urging foreign envoys in Nigeria to be strictly guided by diplomatic practices towards ensuring that their activities remain within the limits of their official responsibilities. Now, this was while receiving letters of credence from several ambassadors and high commissioners posted to Nigeria on tour of duty. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports.
Those that presented their letters of credence were the ambassadors of Japan, European Union, Burundi, Denmark, Finland, Ireland, Cape Verde, Qatar, and France, as well as the High Commissioners of Sierra Leone and Ghana. Formally welcoming the envoys to Abuja, President Muhammadu Buhari, however, reminded them that they are assuming official responsibilities in Nigeria at a very interesting political period.
Nigeria's national elections are due in early 2023. The momentum for enhanced political activities is therefore expected to commence soon. The nature of our politicians often gives the impression of very rancorous engagements. It is the nature of politics here. Besides, democracy and related democratic activities in the build-up to elections are necessarily rowdy and very argumentative, but very much within the limits of freedom of action that the art of democracy permits. As you settle down in the face of these developments, it is my hope that you will ensure that your activities remain within the limits of your profession.
The president also expressed the hope that as they settle down to promote unity, amity, better economic opportunities, and the pursuit of peace between their respective countries and Nigeria, the envoys will also make it a point of duty to appreciate the nation's diversity as a source of pride and strength.
As a government and as a nation, we continue to make steady progress despite daunting challenges, notably in the area of security. We need more partnership to fully overcome these challenges, and I hope that Nigeria can count on broader collaboration with your countries to attain the desired level of peace in our country and sub-region.
While wishing the new envoys successful tenure in the country, President Buhari looks forward to a more robust relationship with each of their countries as Nigeria is open to more foreign direct investments in education, health, transportation, and agricultural sectors. The new Japanese ambassador to Nigeria, Masunaga Kazuyoshi, responded on behalf of the new envoys.
It would also be an honor for us during our tour of duty to explore ways that we can work together to defeat the COVID-19 pandemic and other related issues of mutual interest.
All the new ambassadors and high commissioners were earlier on arrival at the Nigerian seat of government treated to a befitting diplomatic welcome by officers and soldiers of the Presidential Guards Brigade. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari will today depart for Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, to participate in the investment conference organized by the Future Investment Initiative Institute. The president will be joined at the 5th edition of the event by business executives from Nigeria, bankers, captains of industry and energy experts to discuss issues on the future of investments across the globe. The three-day event with the theme Investment in Humanity will host global executives and asset managers and deliberate on progress and prosperity in energy, true final frontiers and investments, science and action, and impact of climate change on communities, among others. The president will be accompanied on the trip by the Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Ni Adebayo, Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Professor Isa Ali Ibrahim Pantami, Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Zubairu Dada, Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Timipre Silva, Director General of National Intelligence Agency, Ambassador Ahmed Rufai Abubakar, and Managing Director of Nigerian Sovereign Investment Authority, Uche Orji. Others on the entourage are Alhaji Mohamed Indimi, Alhaji Aliko Dangote, Tokbe Shonubri, Wale Tinubu, Alhaji Abdul Samad Rabiu, Hassan Usman, Omoboyo De Olusonya, Abubakar Suleiman, Herbert Wigwe, Leo Stan Eke, Alan Seafield, and Alhaji Dahiru Mangal. Before returning to the country on Friday, President Buhari will perform the Lesser Hajj in Medina and Makkah. On the foreign scene, Sudan's military has dissolved civilian rule, arrested political leaders and declared a state of emergency in the country. The Sudanese Ministry of Culture and Information said the joint military forces had placed Prime Minister Abdallah Hamdok under house arrest and pressured him to release a pro-coup statement. After refusing to endorse the coup, reports said Mr. Hamdok was moved to an unknown location. The military also detained several top cabinet members and civilian members of the Transitional Sovereignty Council. General Abdel Fattah Burhan, who had been heading a joint council with civilian leaders, said the military will continue with the democratic transition until the handover to the elected civilian government. He said the 2019 agreement on the transitional government with balanced power between the civilian and military leadership, which had turned into a struggle that was threatening peace and security. Protesters have taken to the streets of the capital, Khartoum, and there are reports of gunfire. Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, has accused a London-based newspaper, The Economist, of bias in its assessment of the security situation in Nigeria. Let's get details from Nyeri John.
Statement, the presidential advisor agreed that The Economist is correct in noting that Nigeria faces 4 key threats to the stability and prosperity of the nation, namely ISWAP, Boko Haram terrorism in the northeast, kidnapping and crime in the northwest, header-farmer disputes in the central belt, and the delusions of IPOP terrorists in the southeast. He also agreed that The Economist is accurate to state that the situation has come to a head under President Buhari and the All Progressives Congress APC administration. Garba Shehu, however, explained that the previous administrations, whether military or democratic, could not tackle the situation head-on. He affirmed that today the story is different as the identified threats are being fought concurrently and yielding results. He said the Buhari administration has sought to push back terrorism, which has been a threat for more than 2 decades since the first emergence of Boko Haram, adding that it is only the Buhari administration that has now sought to intervene against the kidnapping and banditry that has been a simmering threat for so long. The statement also notes that it is only President Buhari that has taken on IPOB, the violent terrorist group which bombs police stations and offices of security agencies. Garba Shehu stressed that presently the military is engaged in almost all the states of the country because the president has insisted on addressing these perennial issues during his time in office. The presidential aide noted that bandits were inaccurately described by The Economist as those who have the resources and technology to shoot down a military fighter jet and not bandits at all, but rather highly organized crime syndicates with huge resources and weaponry. Garba Shehu assured that it will take time, but the president is unwavering in his determination to collapse these security challenges.
A UK aid-funded program, PropCom Makerfi, says it will continue to help smallholder farmers in Nigeria's rural communities for efficient results in its agricultural investment and inclusive market growth promotion. At an event in Abuja, the organizers say the fund has supported more than 1 million women and men in the northern part of the country to generate more than 37 billion naira income in 9 years. Participants that include representatives of UK government, donor agencies and the Deputy Governor of Jigawa State, Alhaji Umar Namadi, said the program targeted market systems with opportunities for poor farmers and also helped to build their capacity in climate-smart agriculture to boost productivity and production. We're heading to Lagos. Adiola is set to bring us what she has for us there.
Thank you, Ruth. Reducing Nigeria's quest for foreign and domestic borrowing to implement statutory obligations proposed in the 2022 budget estimate of 16.39 trillion naira depends largely on improvement of revenue generation. Financial experts say the volatility in global oil price and uncertainty in the capital markets are realities that should spur the nation's drive for more revenue earnings to realize her objectives. Abolade Salami reports.
In retrospect to the 2020 budget estimate of 10.805 trillion naira approved for spending, the federal government projected the sum of 8.155 trillion naira as revenue, representing 7% or 561.2 billion naira higher than 2019 aggregates, meaning that about 43.86% capital to operate the budget was expected to come from oil revenue, while the balance is to be derived from the non-oil sector.
This year, we are in the month of October. The figures that we have at the end of August, for example, we have achieved about 75% in quite a number of areas of our budget implementation.
Christened Budget of Economic Growth and Sustainability, the 2022 estimate of 16.39 trillion naira based on fiscal assumption is estimated to bring to the federal government coffers an estimate of 17.70 trillion naira in the fiscal year and a total estimate of 10.13 trillion naira to fund the 2022 fiscal expenditure. To realize these assumptions on the budget, economic players submitted that there is an urgent need for the country to drift away from our poor tax to GDP collection.
And if our revenues are 8% of GDP and our expenditure is 12%, it then figures that that extra 4% is coming from borrowing. That's, so that's the situation, but we can't continue that way.
The measures and strategies adopted by the federal government to improve revenue mobilization towards sustainable performance in 2022 with the goal of achieving enhanced tax and excise revenues through policy reforms and tax administration have been identified as realistic to sustainable growth. In Lagos, Abolade Salami, NTA News.
The efforts of the federal government to stimulate the growth of small and medium-scale enterprises will be result-oriented if standard specifications are known and jealously guided by all Nigerians. The Director General of the Standards Organization of Nigeria, Farouk Salim, stated this in Lagos during a road walk against substandard goods in the Nigerian markets. Michael Olaleye reports.
Standards, they say, is sacred due to its indispensability to health, security, and wellness of any society. Apart from losing more than 15 billion naira annually to fake products, Nigeria has worrisome tales to tell when it comes to the deaths of many industries occasioned by influx of substandard products. Desirous to change the trend informed this work to commemorate Standards Day. It is not just about the work, but the energy and zeal to put an end to the production, manufacturing, and importation of fake products, which the Standards Organization of Nigeria wants the citizens to replicate. The Director General noted that fake products thrive when people buy things below standard or are not aware of product specifications, which the SON is out to educate Nigerians.
Without standards, there won't be factories. Without factories, there won't be jobs. And without jobs, there will not be peace. And the only way we will work is by making sure we educate the people of the importance of standards and then protect the people from people who don't want to follow the standards.
The Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission is complementing the role of SON, but the emphasis here is about consumers protecting their rights and discouraging monopolistic markets.
The criticality of what you do, especially with respect to standards, is completely highlighted by the reality of our markets.
The work is a follow-up to the agency's target of getting rid of fake and substandard products, having sanitized the lubricants and steel markets to an extent. In Lagos, Michael Olaleye, NTA News.
Abubakar in Maiduguri will bring us a next set of reports on Nationwide after this break. Please stay.
Government, through NPHCDA, commenced Phase 2 vaccination of all persons 18 years and above with safe and effective COVID-19 vaccines approved by WHO and certified by NAFDAC. Special arrangement has been made for staff, their dependents and retirees of ministries, departments and agencies of government, private corporate organizations and non-governmental organizations. To benefit from this special arrangement, visit www.nphcda.gov.ng/corporate vaccination/ to obtain, fill and submit the Google form. NPHCDA will contact you within 48 hours. Protect yourself, your family and your workplace against COVID-19. COVID-19 vaccines are free, safe and effective. For further inquiries, call 0700-220-1122 or send a mail to covid19.vaccination@nphcda.gov.ng. This message is from the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency.
When you think about hospitality and affordable luxury away from home, then you talk about Sharon Ultimate Hotels, a secured and serene environment that offers kingly services such as 24-hour room service, impeccable security with CCTV surveillance, parking lots, free Wi-Fi internet service, free complimentary breakfast, restaurants that offers continental and local dishes, well-equipped fitness center with instructors, swimming pool, 350 capacity multipurpose hall, laundry service, pastry corner, mini mart, and our suites are breathtaking. For reservation, locate us at plot 1710 Tafawa Balewa Way, Area 3, Garikia, Abuja. Sharon Ultimate Hotels, the ultimate place.
History is history, so either you know it or you don't.
My advice to the younger generation is that they should learn from what we have started and what we have left.
I did things that ordinarily I should not have been doing. What that meant was that I was working hard.
Whatever assignment you are given in life, put in your best.
The military years were a disaster. Smoldering effects of all that is what we are trying to cure.
Thanks for staying with us on Nationwide on the Nigerian Television Authority, and this is Maiduguri Zonal Network Center. Let's begin with security matters. Towards enhancing interagency synergy in the ongoing counter-insurgency operations, 7th Division, Nigerian Army and Sector 1 Operation Hadinkai have organized a maiden combined interagency route march within the city center of Maiduguri. Memuna Garba completes the story.
The route march, which was held Saturday morning, kick-started from 7th Division Garrison through Baga Road, Post Office area down to Government House Runabout and ended at the 7th Division Wharf Officers' Mess. Military and paramilitary personnel, including members of the civilian JTF and hunters, among other local security outfits, as well as members of the National Youth Service Corps, attended the route march. Walking through the routes in the metropolis, the exercise is an indication that the are ever ready to work as a team and capable of giving the citizenry the needed security. Addressing security personnel after the route march, General Officer Commanding 7th Division and Commander Sector 1 Operation Hadinkai, Brigadier General Abdul Wahab Eitayo, said the exercise was in line with the Chief of Army Staff's vision and that of the Chief of Defense Staff, as they are all pursuing a common goal of ending the security challenge in the state.
When you train together, when you now find yourself in the field, it's not difficult for you to be able to see yourself as colleagues, contemporaries, friends, and people that you can have trust in.
Other heads of security agencies commended the initiative and are sure to cooperate amongst themselves for the citizenry to enjoy lasting peace.
In fighting this insurgency and terrorism, we are collaborating and we are just one.
we are focused and we are going to defeat the enemies.
Peace is returning to our state. The army have done a very great work. All the security agents are doing great work.
The route march is expected to be a continuous exercise. In Maiduguri, Maimuna Garba, NTA News.
And still on issues concerning security, police officers and men of Borno State have been warned to desist from any corrupt practice in the course of duty. Borno State Commissioner of Police handed down the warning at the maiden conference of Police Commissioner with superior police officers held at the command headquarters in Maiduguri. Here again is Maimuna Garba with the rest of the story.
The CP's conference was a fallout of the IGP's conference recently held in Abuja, where the Inspector General of Police, Alkali Usman Baba, handed down series of directives to commissioners of police to implement in their various commands. The Commissioner of Police informed the superior police officers that the IGP has seriously warned against bribe and extortion and directed them to reinvigorate monitoring unit to monitor incivility to members of the public, reiterating that bail remains free. CP Abdul Umar enjoined the SPOs to identify genuine individuals in the community and partner them for proper policing and stressed that cases of armed robbery, rape and counterfeit should be transferred to the state CID. He disclosed that local training and retraining of personnel will be conducted regularly for them to discharge their duties effectively.
I want you to make it mandatory that every week in your division you must engage your policemen by giving them lectures on what to do and what not to do.
To ensure personnel of the command are alive to their responsibilities, CP Abdul Umar promised to reward hardworking and dedicated policemen. In Maiduguri, Maimuna Garba, NTA News.
You're still on to Nationwide on the Nigerian Television Authority. It's now time to return to Ruth in Abuja for more stories for us this evening. So, Ruth.
Thank you very much, Abubakar. President Muhammadu Buhari felicitates with Sir Chief Celestine Osim Tawo as he turns 80. The president salutes the many decades put into national service and development by the respected South leader who had variously served as commissioner in Cross River State, board director of Federal Mortgage Bank, community leader, and a Knight of the Order of St. John International. He lauds the contributions of Sir Tawo to the peace that currently subsists in the Niger Delta region, urging him to continue deploying his influence and wisdom to the sustainability of amity and concord in the area and the country at large. President Buhari greets the entire Tawo family, their friends and associates, praying for longer life and good health for the celebrant as he continues to serve God and humanity. Also, President Muhammadu Buhari felicitates with media entrepreneur, business mogul and politician High Chief Dr. Raymond Dokpesi as he celebrates his 70th birthday. The president salutes the extraordinary courage displayed by the communications guru in launching into an uncertain territory, blazing the trail in private media broadcasting and in the process creating jobs and opportunities for Nigerians, a feat that others have since followed. President Buhari joins the family, friends, and the media industry in celebrating the founder of Dar Communications, owner of AIT Ray Power broadcasting stations, urging him to continue to use his platforms for the enlightenment of Nigerians, as well as forging unity and cohesion in the country. He prays that Almighty God will bless him with good health and longer life in the service of humanity. Let's talk art. They say art is life, right? And art has been an important part of human experience for the time out of mind. The first records of the world are not written in books, actually. They are mostly captured in paintings, sculptures, music, and more. That helps to create an imagination. So as the world marks International Artists' Day, observed every 25th October, which is today, we want to look at art, how it has reshaped the world, missing links and best practices for overall development. We have in the studio Mr. Tijani Adinoyi, an artist and historian. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me.
Okay, first of all, we must commend artists for their contributions, bringing out to life their mind-blowing imaginations. But This year's World Artist Day, what is it saying to us as a people?
Art as a means of communication, of course, because people said it's history, but because we create picture from where others are not seeing it.
Yes.
So that is what an artist is. And today being a World Artist Day, so we want to link artists to the society so that they too can feel part of what we are contributing to the society. Because an artist is not an ordinary person. We're one of the creation that can think out of the box. I think we looked at ourselves and an extraordinarily created human being that everything we do is special. We don't think the same way other people think. We don't do things the same ordinary other people think. So that is an artist for you. So by going by this day of an artist day, so we want a situation where people should, the society should relate with us. You understand what we are. The government should know us. You understand how we think. That is today we want the society to link with artists so that we can develop the community together.
And of course, there's no development if peace doesn't thrive. So how can we use art, to promote peace and address insecurity we're faced with as a nation?
Funny enough and good enough. And if artists are not violent, generally, you cannot. If you arrest 100 or 1,000 thug or miscreant or anyhow, check them. None of them will be an artist because we think beyond destroying. So everything, if you see an artist produce some work, sometimes they produce it in a way to speak peace. Their color, their choice of this thing, we produce things that speak peace.
And every artwork, I understand, tells a story.
Yes. That is why if you have an artwork in your house, it's not like a book. You can't end the reading. You can't finish it. Your children will come and start reading it too. Every piece of art is a book that is beyond reading. It tells story. It is an history. It cures. It's a medical material. But I don't know whether you know about this medical art. So it's a medical material. It heals. So every artwork has a lot of things embedded in it.
More like therapeutic?
Yes.
Okay.
The choice of color, it can treat you. Some make you happy. There's no piece of work that will make you sad.
Okay, and we saw the COVID-19 pandemic, shut down the sector a bit. If we want to look at it restoring, coming back to normal, there's a whole lot that is yet untapped in the art world. How can we create a visibility, for artists in Nigeria to make that sector the #1 in Nigeria?
That is another story altogether, because artists are not being respected in Nigerian community and society. We are not being given a chance, but all artists beg for is enabling environment. Because if you take the percentage of an artist, graduating artist or thereabout professional, they are not government workers. 80% of them are individual, self-employed. So, and they too have gone to employ in the community. So, when you talk about this COVID-19 or 15, yes, after it, artists are doing things, even the syllabus that were coming out in all sorts of other festivals, they keep telling you artwork, aftermath of COVID-19. The artists are thinking beyond even COVID-19. Okay. After that, what do we do to go into the society again, to be accepted, and to take our color serious, to take our pencil line serious, to take our sculpture serious? A lot of things, and we beg. And there was a time like that when government said every other building, public building, an artist must be involved.
Okay. It's a collaborative effort. We have a role to play. Thank you very much, Tijani Adinoye. He's an artist and historian. Let's support art. Buy a painting, buy a book. You never can tell. All right, let's move on to other issues. Residents and road users in Gwarimpa Housing Estate have appealed to the Federal Capital Territory Authority to, as a matter of concern, address the recurrent challenge posed by potholes, littering the access gate and causing untold hardship to the people. Eliasu Onotu Yakubu brings us a situation report.
Although most of the road users would not speak on camera, but their lamentations are the same. 3 out of the access roads into and out of Gwarimpa Housing Estate are nightmares, especially during rush hours, morning and night. The situation is worse in rainy seasons, be it at the Federal Housing Gate or Gwarimpa main entrance.
I know that frequently I'm seeing FEMA on the road trying to repair it, but 2 months later, the road is back again.
At the Abuja Model City Gate, traffic here resulting from potholes knows no rush hour.
But for respite, Abdullahi Abubakar here is one on a voluntary service, and he says his motivating factor is part of efforts to support security operatives who are always here day and night in order to ensure that there is free flow of traffic, irrespective of the situation with the road here.
I do it to support them and contribute to Nigeria's growth.
Traffic managers adduce the build-up of traffic at such locations during rush hours to the impatience of some drivers who are in the habit of reckless and uncoordinated maneuver.
A little patience. On the part of all road users that are using those areas, we desire that they exercise some patience as the staff deployed to those locations are managing the traffic.
Once you have a bad situation ahead of you, what you need to do is to slow down and see how you can enter it where the traffic is not heavy.
They urge the authorities to give necessary attention to such failed portions across the city for ease of traffic management. Ilyasu Onotu Yakubu, NTA News.
Our next stop will be Port Harcourt. Let's join Dibabari there.
Thank you, Ruth, and welcome to Port Harcourt. As government at all levels strive towards improving the health sector, emphasis has been placed on prompt routine immunization against hepatitis B, as it is rated as one of the leading childhood killer diseases. This is just as medical experts look for stiffer measures to curb excesses of unauthorized health personnel on drug prescriptions and treatment. Ijoma Aguele reports.
Hepatitis is a viral infection that affects the liver. Types ranges from hepatitis B and C and are said to be more common and responsible for liver-related diseases. Symptoms, according to experts, are fever, headache, loss of appetite, yellow eyes, weakness, sleep disturbances, and coloration of the skin. In children, it can cause weakness and weight loss.
It can affect the brain, where the person might be behaving abnormal or responding abnormal and might not even comply with the instruction, especially when the virus have invaded the brain cells. The treatment is poor, and the compliance is also poor because at that point in time, the drug of choice for virus that causes hepatitis infection, which is a double-stranded DNA virus, the drug of choice is not available for now.
As a vaccine preventive disease, emphasis are placed on immunization at birth, and adults who could not take as infants in case of an outbreak, as hepatitis B is contagious.
Someone can get it from body fluids like sweat, saliva, unprotected sexual intercourse with someone who has it, and if the other partner is unvaccinated, can get it then through blood transfusion.
Childhood immunization. After then, your lifestyle. Some people who take cocaine, they smoke, they should stop taking those things because it will affect their health.
Dr. Nwal advised that people should ensure detailed information of drug prescription before dispensing. In Port Harcourt, Ijoma Aguele, NTA News.
The federal government's input to ensure food sufficiency in the country and to meet the Millennium Development Goals on zero hunger received a boost as the dry season famine was flagged off by management of Cross River State River Basin Development Authority in Ogoja local government area of Cross River State. Oba Hyacinth reports.
The federal government, led by President Muhammadu Buhari, has been dogged in its determination to ensure food sufficiency through huge investment in the agriculture sector. And one of the agencies driving the policy is the Cross River Basin Development Authority. The managing director of the Authority Basim Poson says the Federal Ministry of Water Resources and his organization are providing enabling environment and tools at subsidized rate for farmers to boost productivity, hence the provision of the tractor and other irrigation materials.
What we have done now is to create serious awareness for our people that they don't have to go to sleep, they don't have to change their profession when it comes to a season like this, and that the federal government, like everything that we've had here, is for their own use.
We are excited, having this right in Ogoja.
The flag of broad management of Cross River Basin Development Authority, the chairman, supervisor of Ogoja LGA and councillors, farmers to interface while strategizing on the way forward. Oba Hyacinth, NTA News.
And that does it from Port Harcourt. Nationwide, we continue right after the break with Frama in Just. Good evening.
From dusk to dawn, 24 hours a day, NTA International is with you in your living room, office, everywhere and anywhere. We provide the company you desire in terms of balanced and up-to-date news, programs and the best of entertainment. Tune in to DSTV channel 251, GoTV channel 91, Freeview UK channel 264, or you can download www.visiontv.co.uk, app for iOS or Android. You can also see us on Facebook and YouTube for quality content on the go. NTA International, Africa's window to the world.
The broadcast media ecosystem is dynamic and requires continuous training for practitioners to perform optimally. NTA TV College JOS invites relevant officers to the following specially packaged training programs. Transmitter operation and maintenance. Date 1st November to 5th November 2021. 1 week. Photojournalism and photography. Date 8th November to 26th November 2021. 3 weeks. Advanced broadcast accounting and auditing. Date 22nd November to 3rd December 2021. 2 weeks. The course fee for the 3-week course is 130,000 naira per participant, while the fee for the 2-week course and 1-week engineering course is 100,000 naira only per participant, accommodation inclusive. The venue for all courses is the serene and secure environment of NTA TV College near Old Government House, Rayfield, Jos. For more inquiries, please call 0803-314-43830 or 0806-980-9807. NTA TV College, Jos, training you to be the best you want to be.
This is Nationwide. We're glad to have you join us here in Jos. In continuation of its efforts to lay a solid foundation that will impact the citizens, Plateau State Government has inaugurated a steering committee for the State Agenda 2050 towards driving this goal. While inaugurating the Committee for Long-Term Development Plan to be carried out in conjunction with the United Nations Development Program in Jos, Governor Simon Lalong charges members to ensure they deliver on the goals guiding sustainable development. Caleb Gochin reports that the steering committee is chaired by the Deputy Governor of the state, Professor Sonny Tioden.
By this development, Plateau State Government is keying into the vision of the federal government in developing a sustainable development plan, Agenda 2050, towards lifting millions of Nigerians out of poverty. 17 members comprising relevant stakeholders from the government, traditional institution, and civil society groups are to develop a blueprint for the economic and social well-being of the citizens. Governor Simon Lalong says the Plateau State Agenda 2050 will not only build upon the gains of the current Plateau State Development Strategy, but take the state to the top 3 in the country with respect to socio-economic development.
The Plateau State in the past played a key role in sustaining the Nigerian economy with the tin and columbine from her mines for several decades before the advent of oil in this country. I make bold to say that we can do it again, as those resources are still available in abundance. Besides, we have human resources and talents in various fields that we are ready to offer the world.
Representative of the UNDP office in Abuja, who spoke via Zoom, says the partnership is essentially to help achieve the Sustainable Development Goals and appreciates Plateau State Government for keying into the program. Chairman of the committee, Professor Sonny Chioden, pledges commitment of members to operate based on best global practices that will turn around the fortunes of the state. In Jos, Caleb Gochin, NTA News.
To improve the standard of learning in schools, the federal government, through the National Social Investment Program, NSIP, has provided ICT gadgets to primary and post-primary schools in Plateau State. This is to equip pupils and students with basic knowledge on information gathering with modern technology. Felicia Dalib-Samaila brings us details.
In a rapidly changing world, computer education is essential for people to access and apply information. To this end, Government Secondary School Laranto and Obasanjo Model Primary School, selected as pilot schools for the introduction of computer education in the state, were given 41 computers with solar system. Handing over the ICT center to the respective schools, State Focal Person National Social Investment Program, Dr. Sumaye Hamza, restates federal government's commitment towards ensuring computer proficiency in primary and post-primary schools.
These things are there so that these children, instead of going to register their JAM, for example, in the business center, they can now do their JAM registration and CBT in the school.
Plateau State, being the only one selected as a pilot among the North Central states, is appreciative of this intervention.
This is a new world for the students in the school and the state as a whole, and I believe the students will take advantage of it.
For the students, it is a step in the right direction.
We are so happy for what they've provided for us, and I intend to learn more than I know now.
In Jos, Felicia Dalib-Samaila, NTA News.
And that's it from Jos. Nationwide continues with Ruth in Abuja.
Thank you, Frama. Governor Samuel Otom has clamped down on some illegal revenue collectors in certain parts of Benue State. Charles Abba reports.
Some illegal revenue collectors made their Waterloo at Abinsi along Boko Makudi Road. Governor Samuel Otom caught them red-handed on his way back from Jatuaka. The governor, who described the act as antithetical, said it shortchanges the state government of internally generated revenue, thus hampering development.
And I'm going to sanction management of DRS. Look at what is happening. These people that were here alone, they collected more than 20,000 from them, and no receipt. These are the criminals that we're struggling with. I'm going to go out myself henceforth. From Makudi to Alede to Tupo, I'm going out myself. Since the people we have recruited cannot do it, and we apprehend them and deal with them.
He said one of the 4 arrested operators is a staff of the Benue State Revenue Service, BIRS. The governor explained that the apprehended operators would face the wrath of the law, while BIRS will be investigated. Charles Abba, NTA News.
All right, let's bring you sports update.
Reaction
Ovations have continued to trail the performance of Nigeria Professional Football League teams at the continental stage. Enyimba International FC whipped Senegal's Diambas 3-0 on Sunday in the CAF Confederation Cup, while Rivers United